Welcome to the next lesson of Your First Podcast, a crash course. In lesson 8, we are going to be talking about different recording techniques and methods of recording. Now that you've prepared your script, you found a quiet place to record, and you've made time to record, it is actually time to record your podcast. These are good recording techniques that you should use when recording your podcast. The first thing is microphone position. Now, like I mentioned in a previous lesson, for creating your first podcast, all you need is your smartphone. And on your smartphone, you can use any kind of memo app, or there are different audio recording apps that you can have on your phone, whether you have an Android or an Apple phone. In a future lesson, I will share with you the app that I use on my phone to record. What you need to know is how to position your phone or your microphone in a good place to record your audio. Now, while you're sitting in your quiet place, whether it's a closet or in your car, or under a pillow fort. And again, if you don't have any of this stuff, it's okay. These are, again, all things that I recommend and that I would suggest. So I suggest you record in a closet. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I suggest recording in a car. If you don't want to do that or you don't have a car, you don't have to do that. I suggest that you use a pillow fort or a blanket fort. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to look silly, you don't have to do that at all. Again, I just want to help you have the tools and the resources to go ahead and create your first podcast. And if you don't want to use any of that stuff, that's fine. But what I do recommend that I strongly do suggest that you use these good recording techniques. When you're recording, whether it's with an actual microphone or your phone or a camera, you want to be close enough to the microphone, but not too close, because you want the audio to pick up in a more natural sounding way. With microphones and with your cell phone, a good distance is about the span of your thumb, the end of your thumb, to the end of your pinky. So about that. So if I have my phone, I would just position myself about this far away. Now, if you have headsets and your phone will record, like if you have earphones or anything like that, that's another way to do that as well. The reason I'm a little uncomfortable with using those is because sometimes people's headphones don't have a lot of good quality, or it makes your voice sound funny. And you don't want that. You want to keep it as clean and as simple as possible. So again, end of your thumb to the end of your pinky, about that far away. And if you have small hands, don't worry about it. You're just about this away. And if you want to use, if you're more specific with numbers, it's about 7 to 8 inches away from where your mouth is. It's about 7 to 8 inches. You want to keep your phone at this distance so that you can just speak normally and just record. And this will pick up your voice perfectly fine, as long as you're not whispering, as long as you're not like yelling. This is a perfect distance to record yourself. 7 to 8 inches, or a thumb, the distance between the end of your thumb to the end of your pinky. Next, when you're recording your audio, recording your podcast, you want to leave some silence at the beginning and at the end. So what do I mean by that? When you hit record on your phone and on your app, wait about 6 to 7 seconds before you actually start. And when you're done, wait about 6 to 7 seconds before you hit stop. The reason you want to do this is going to be helpful in editing later. You want to have that space of silence. And it also gives you a little time to breathe and prepare for yourself, prepare to record. The next thing for recording your podcast, good recording technique, is you want to act as if you're talking to someone or talking to a friend, whoever you want to talk to. When you're recording your audio, you have your phone, you've hit record, and now you have silence at the beginning. You want to act like you're talking to a friend. Even if you're reading a script, you're talking and communicating to a friend. Because the reality is, that's how your audience is going to feel. As you're sharing information with them, as you're sharing your ideas, it's going to feel like a friend is talking to them. It's like they're having a conversation on the phone. It's as casual and comfortable as that. Be sure to keep that in mind as, you're just talking to your good friend or a family member or whoever. Imagine who you're talking to and just focus on that. The fourth thing is to try not to move around a lot, especially while you're recording your first episode with your smartphone. You don't want to move around too much because that can create a lot of noise and that will be picked up in your recording. So what you can do is just hold your phone where you are and don't move around a lot. And even if you have your script right here, you don't have to move around a lot. Just stay in one place the best that you can, at least just for right now, for this first episode. Because I understand that some people, they talk with their hands and things like that. And if that's the case, find somewhere to prop up your phone. You can place your phone on a shelf or on the bed or even like on the dashboard in your car. You can just place it down so that you can talk with your hands. But try to minimize how much you move around because you don't want a lot of rustling of clothes or anything like that. You want to keep your audio that you're recording, your podcast, as clean and as crisp as possible. And so the last of these 5 recording techniques is to count yourself in before you start. The reason I bring this up is so that, again, you can prepare yourself to get into what you're about to record. So for me, this is what I do for my podcast. And when I record a lot of things, actually, you just count yourself in as if you're on the radio or if you're on TV. Just 3, 2, 1, and then start. Again, it's something triggering in your mind to say, all right, we're getting ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. And if you don't want to do 3, 2, 1, or if you prefer some other method, it's just something to help count you in and get you going. Again, I would recommend 3, 2, 1. I think it's the simplest way to move forward. It's 3, 2, 1, go. Now that we've identified some good recording techniques, we are actually getting into the process of how you're going to record your podcast. There are several different methods of how you can record your audio. The first one is using a phone or tablet. The second one is using an audio recorder of some sort. And the third one, a laptop and a microphone. So again, for this crash course, we're going to focus on using our phone to record our first podcast. Again, you don't need a lot to produce a podcast. And so we're going to try to keep it as simple as possible. So with your phone, all you need is an app to record audio. For a lot of phones, they already have some kind of voice memo or program like that comes in the phone. I know Apple products has a voice memo option, and most Androids have voice memo apps as well. One app that I've downloaded and that I use is called Dolby On. Let me pull it up so I can show you. And it looks like this. And it's just a recorder. That's all it is. This is a very simple app to use. You just hit the microphone and it starts recording you. And so using the recording techniques, I would just prop my phone up and I would just record myself. And that's exactly what you're going to do. After you have your script prepared, after you find some time, after you've, gone through these good recording techniques, all you need to do is come in, hit that button, and hit record. And that's all you need to do. And again, there are many different ways for you to record a podcast. But for the sake of this crash course and you producing your first podcast in a weekend, all you need is your phone.